Hello everyone. In this video we will discuss rank nullity theorem. It says that if U and V are two vector spaces over a field F where dimension of U is n and let T be any linear transformation from U to V, then rank of this linear transformation T plus nullity of T will be equal to n, which is dimension of U. Let's start its proof. Let's assume that nullity of T is equal to m. That means dimension of, let's assume that nullity of T is M. That means dimension of kernel T is M. If dimension of kernel T is M, which is a vector space, that means in the basis of kernel T there will be M elements. So let this set which contains M elements E1, E2, Em be basis of kernel T. Being basis, this is linearly independent set in kernel T, and kernel T is subspace of U, so this set is linearly independent subset of U. We can extend this set to form a basis of U. We can extend this set to form a basis of U. Because dimension of U is n, so we will have to add more vectors to this set so that enlarged set will become the basis of U. So this set now must contain n vectors. So we have enlarged this set to form a basis of U because this was linearly independent. So it is possible. Now we will show that images of the extra added vectors, that means images of Em plus 1, T image of Em plus 2, and so on, T image of En is basis of RT. If we prove that this is basis of RT, then we can say that dimension of RT, that is rank of T, is n minus m because we have added n minus m vectors to this set to form a basis of U. In order to prove that this set is basis of RT, let's first prove that this set generates or spans RT. For that, we will take any arbitrary element of RT. Let y belonging to RT be any arbitrary element. If y belongs to range of T, so y will be equal to T image of some element of U. Let y is equal to Tx where x belongs to U. Because x belongs to U, therefore x can be written as linear combination of elements of its basis. So x will be equal to some alpha 1 E1 because what is basis of U? Here is the basis of U. So every element of U will be linear combination of these elements. So we can write x is equal to alpha 1 E1 plus alpha 2 E2 plus alpha m Em plus alpha m plus 1 Em plus 1 plus so on alpha n En, where alpha i's belongs to F for every I. So we have written this element x of U as linear combination of elements of its basis. This implies Tx will be equal to, let's start from the next line. This implies Tx is equal to T image of alpha 1 E1 plus alpha 2 E2 plus so on alpha m Em plus alpha m plus 1 Em plus 1 plus so on alpha n en, where alpha is our scalars for every I. What is Tx? That is y. And because T is linear, so we can write it like this. Alpha 1 e Te1 plus alpha 2 Te2 and so on alpha m Tem plus alpha m plus 1 T of Em plus 1 plus so on alpha n Ten, because T is linear. Now E1, E2, Em is basis of kernel T. That means E1, E2, Em belongs to kernel T. So T images of E1, E2 up to Em will be 0. This implies y is equal to 0 plus 0 plus 0 up to first m elements, and the remaining expressions will be written as it is. So reason is E1, E2, Em is basis of kernel T. Therefore, T of E1 is 0, T of E2 is 0, and T image of Em is 0. So for that reason, we have written 0 in place of these m elements. So now y is equal to alpha m plus 1 T image of Em plus 1 alpha n into T image of En. So y can be written as linear combination of Tem plus 1 up to Ten. So y was an arbitrary element. That means every element of Rt can be written as linear combination of these elements. So now we can say that this set spans or generate Rt. After proving that Rt is spanned by the set Tem plus 1, Tem plus 2 up to Ten, it remains to show that this set is linearly independent. For this, suppose there exist scalars, say beta m plus 1, beta m plus 2 up to beta n belonging to F, such that the linear combination beta m plus 1 Tem plus 1 plus beta m plus 2 Tem plus 2 plus so on up to beta n Ten equal to 0. Now T is linear, therefore we can write T of beta m plus 1 Em plus 1 plus beta m plus 2 Em plus 2 plus so on beta n En equal to 0. If T image of this element is 0, then this element must belong to kernel T. This implies beta m plus 1 Em plus 1 plus beta m plus 2 Em plus 2 so on beta n En belongs to kernel T. Now kernel T has basis of its own. So this element of kernel T will be able to expressed as linear combination of elements of its basis. So I can write thus that this element is linear combination of E1, E2, Em, which is basis of kernel T. So let's write this element as linear combination of these elements. So this element beta m plus 1 em plus 1 plus beta m plus 2 em plus 2, so on. Beta n en is equal to a1 e1 say a2 e2 plus so on am em. Let's rewrite this expression, and this will be equal to a1 e1 plus so on am em plus negative of bm plus 1 em plus 1 and so on negative of bn en equal to 0. This implies a1 0, a2 0, am 0, also beta m plus 1 to beta n, all scalars are 0. Why? Because this set e1, e2, en, em plus 1 to en is basis of U. So being basis of U, this is linearly independent. So if this set is linearly independent and linear combination of elements of this set is equal to 0, that simply means that all scalars are 0. So we are able to show that the scalars beta m plus 1 to beta n are equal to 0. If these scalars are 0, then this means this set is linearly independent. So we have proved in step 1 that RT is spanned by this set TEM plus 1, TEM plus 2 up to TEN, and in step 2 we have shown that this set is linearly independent. Hence we have proved that this set is basis of RT and its dimension is n minus m. So we can say that dimension of RT is n minus m. This shows that rank of T is n minus m. Already we have assumed that nullity of T is m. Here we have assumed that nullity of T is m, and we have proved that rank of T is n minus m. Now let's add these two. So nullity of T plus rank of T is equal to m plus n minus m, which is n. That is what we wanted to prove. Hence we have proved rank nullity theorem.